Joining us now on the program is Coach Ron Bellamy, the head football coach at West Bloomfield High School, to talk about those changes coming up in the fall. Coach Bellamy, thank you for being with us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
How are you? How's your team doing, Coach?
We're doing well. We started workouts June 22nd. They're going well. As you know, we have a pretty large football program. So, we've been able to, we're fortunate enough to have 3 separate workouts just so that our kids aren't, we're not bringing 140, 150 kids in at one time. So, we're fortunate for that, and we're going to continue to try to, do things the right way.
As you're preparing for the season and you're having these kids separated in different groups to maintain physical distancing and other safety measures, does it make it difficult in that case to prepare schematically and from a general game planning standpoint in your first string, your second string, your third string, and other sets you have coming in between? Does it make that preparation tougher as you're approaching the season beginning in the next couple of months?
Yeah, the toughest part is going to be the camaraderie. What we're trying to accomplish is we keep our guys within a position. So quarterbacks, running backs, receivers, O-line, etc. They're all in their own group with their position coach. And the reason behind that is if one kid or one group was to get sick, you kind of know where the virus is at. You can kind of track where it's at. So we've taken that approach. Like I said, Tyler, we're not really concerned about the X's and O's part of football. Everyone's in the same playing field. We're just trying to make sure our kids have some sense of normalcy. We want to make sure that our kids are they're physically and mentally active. We want to make sure they're good. As a coaching staff, you want to make sure we haven't seen our kids before we got back on June 22nd. We abruptly got out of school on March 12th, March 13th. So, we see our kids, and we just want to make sure we're doing things the right way, social distancing as best as possible, and, sanitizing and making sure we're spraying down the equipment as the kids use it.
In terms of the procedures being taken, you mentioned a couple of them: spraying down equipment as it's being used, maintaining physical distancing measures among your team, dividing them into separate groups for practices and for being in the weight room and so on. In terms of coming to practice and being tested the day of each and every day, what procedures are your guys going through or required to go through either by the MHSAA, by the state, by the high school, or your staff in order to clear them to be healthy to practice that day?
Yeah, we're doing our screenings suggested by the MHSAA, and our kids come in. They have to come in with a mask. If they don't have a mask, we do provide masks for them. We have them on site, but we're on our kids about having their own mask. In addition to that, as the kids come on campus, they scan their phones for the QR codes, and when the QR codes open up, it's a series of questions. Are you coughing? Are you sneezing? Is your temperature over 100 degrees? And, have you been exposed to one with COVID of recent? And, obviously you hope the kids all press a no. And if they say yes, then you kind of send them home and, follow up with some questions. But, we're doing the screenings with we have our thermometers there, and, we're measuring from, while social distancing, we're measuring their temperatures and doing things the right way, best of our ability to make sure that we are we're diligent about things and doing things the right way.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention recently released guidelines for youth sports and includes things like limiting high fives and close contact and discouraging high amounts of direct contact until game days. Are you concerned with football being as much of a contact sport and your need to have your guys be in that physical contact in practices as you're getting closer to the season? Are you concerned that there may be further regulations coming down or that football may not be happening in the fall because of that close contact?
Yeah, you know what? That's that's the science behind it. I will tell you this: my goal is to make sure that our kids are they're safe. Our kids and our coaches. If we're able to play football, that's a great thing. If not, we all understand what we're faced against. In regards to being able to practice, I have no idea what that looks like. Right now we're just taking it one day at a time. And we're trying to just teach techniques and make sure we're working on our skill and agility and making sure the kids are strong and conditioned. Just some things you can do. Typically what we do in the summers anyway. So, this is not different than what we've done over the past, since I've been there, past 11 years. So, we're going to continue to do that and, keep our fingers crossed that August 10th, we're allowed to play football.
Coach Ron Bellamy from West Bloomfield High School. He's their head football coach with us on the Oakland County MegaCast. And Coach, you and I and Dave, you and Dave on our football broadcasts and other programming before have touched on this. You're a father first, and coaching is your side job, and parents are concerned. Families are concerned about their kids playing sports and being in close contact with people. Some are even concerned about returning their kids to school altogether. Have you noticed or have you experienced players or families that are saying we're not going to participate in football this year? And are you concerned about maybe losing more players if things continue to spike as we're seeing right now, getting closer to the season?
I have not. There's a couple kids that we have on our roster that we anticipated playing who are not out there, but that's typical in the summer, because workouts are voluntary. So some kids, they're out of town or, they may be with a different parent or whatever it may be, whatever the circumstance is. But I have not had a parent tell me my kid's going to sit out this year due to, COVID-19. I have not experienced that yet. In regards to everything else, as far as, football being displaced this year, we're following the guidelines and, we're watching the news and following Governor Whitmer and the MHSAA and whatever directive we get, we're going to roll with it, and our kids totally understand the circumstances.
Coach Ron Bellamy, the West Bloomfield High School football coach with us on the Oakland County MegaCast. Coach, you had a lot of players that moved on to college football. They're moving on to college football this fall, including but not limited to Cornell Wheeler and Makari Page that are going to the University of Michigan. You already have going into his sophomore year there, Trey Mosley at my alma mater, Michigan State. And yesterday, the Big Ten announced that all fall sports, including football, will be only played in conference. Your thoughts on that situation, and how are your guys doing in their new college experiences for those who are going in as incoming freshmen to new football teams?
Yeah, I was able to stop in Ann Arbor last week to visit Cornell and Makari just to kind of check on them and see how things were going. Things were great with them. They're just working out much like we are, and they're getting acclimated to the football program. Makari enrolled early, so he had a head start on things in January before things were shut down. So, but he feels a little bit more comfortable in Cornell, but both guys are doing well. Trey Mosley's doing well at Michigan State. Those guys are doing the same thing. Lance Dixon's doing the same thing at Penn State, and Taj Mustafa and A.J. Abbott are doing the same thing at Wisconsin. So it's pretty cool to have, a bunch of kids playing Big Ten football. And,
Coach,
go ahead.
I'm sorry. No, go ahead. Continue on.
Yeah, so checking on those guys' well-being, things are going well from that standpoint.
That's good to hear, Coach Ron Bellamy with us on the Oakland County MegaCast. Your thoughts on, you're a Michigan alum, your thoughts on the Big Ten moving all sports, including football, to being only in conference in the fall?
Yeah, you understand why they made the move. I know a lot of people are saying, well, what's the difference between Michigan playing the University of Washington and playing, Indiana? I guess what they're trying to do is they're prepared to start football, as soon as they can. And if there's any disruptions, you can kind of take the disruptions and you can finish your conference slate. So, it's one of those deals where you get it. If you really know, behind the scenes, if you know what's kind of going on, you understand why they made the moves that they did and why they made it so early. But like I said, man, you have to have a plan. You have to have, a contingency in the event that, no one knows how strong this virus is. No one knows, the length of this virus. And, we just, trust the scientists and trust science and our legislation and making sure that they put us in the best position to maintain safety.
Coach Bell, anything else before we let you go today?
I just thank you guys for, talking about this because it's a subject that is very diligent and it's one that we as, Americans, we love football and we want to make sure that, we're doing things the right way to see the game. I know a lot of people are upset the way things are going and the news that they're getting, but, man, let's safety first. Let's continue to wear a mask and, take care of each other and things be back to normal, before we know it.
Yeah, hopefully we'll be able to get through this real smoothly and get back to football in the fall. Dave and I are really looking forward to another season of broadcasting Lakers football. Thank you for being with us today, Coach Bell.
All right, thank you so much for having me.
Coach Ron Bellamy with us on the Oakland County MegaCast.